So during that time, you are going to just look through, you can, day 1, if you want to go back over that, or if you want to go ahead and look through days 2, 3, 4, and 5 to just focus, because I can't show you any more pages before you're blown away. I have sheets here if you want to take any notes for those days. So I'm just going to pass those out for you. Yes. Yep. I will. I know, it's so much. I wish I could make it simpler. Whatever it is you do, you present a question. So this works great for math, social studies, science, reading content, spelling, vocabulary, a gazillion different things. And so you see those really cute paddle boards. I know everyone has the white wipe-off boards, but the paddle boards are really cute. In my classroom, I leave those at the table, so I have however many I need at each table in my bin of supplies. Those are at the dollar store, if you're wondering. They're $1, so which makes them even better. So you present a question. They have to work together at the table to come up with a unified answer or similar answer. And at the table, they have to make sure everyone understands the concept, because then I'm going to randomly call on someone. But remember, you don't randomly call on someone until they've had an opportunity to talk first. So if, you know, poor little Sally has no clue what's going on, at least she can borrow someone else's answer. And they're going to make sure Sally has something on her board so that she has a response to whatever question. It can be something really in-depth, you know, whatever. So that's the concept. So we're going to quickly do numbered heads together. I don't know if I have enough of the board, so we're just going to kind of share, because those are really heavy to bring on the plane. So just grab a board. You can have one for 2 people, or everyone can grab one. There should be some markers laying around, some expo markers. Do you guys have expo markers? Go ahead and pass them. And I mean, you all don't have to respond if you don't want to. You can just have one at your group. But just want to kind of give you the idea of how this works. Okay, question number 1. How many leveled readers do you have to choose from in each unit? Yeah, these are easy questions. And then what I usually do is roll a dice to decide whose team gets called on, or I have sticks in a cup and pull a random name. So I'm going to call on you. I'm so sorry. Someone in your group should have helped you. 16.
I should have said I don't have a pad.
Oh, gotcha. Great. I just cross that off. We don't have erasers. Next question. What are read on your own books? Time's up, gentleman in the back, blue shirt. That
I was like, darn, what color shirt do I wear?
You're supposed to be talking, man. Good job, good job. Awesome. There's only one in the blue shirt.
I recognize them.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, next, what are interactive read-alouds? Very good listening.
Yeah. And it reads up. I like that. Oh, yeah, I know. I just didn't know I marked that way. I'm asking, not telling you, I'm asking.
Okay, time's up. Tell us what interactive read-alouds are.
Close reading comprehension on the whiteboard. Smart board.
That's good.
Wow.
Man.
Thanks, guys.
So smart.
We had to help Lisa.
What is the unit wrap up?
What?
Unit wrap up.
Four projects. Four.
Whoa. She's smart. I wrote that number on your board. Okay, time's up. Smarty Pants, tell us the answer.
Projects, 3.
And they choose from one, and then they will share it, again reinforcing the language skills. Okay, so that's it for numbered heads together. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, good. We're going to move on. Okay, now. Writing. You're very smart. So we're going to focus a few minutes on writing. Writing is extremely important. If you haven't realized it yet, writing is directly correlated to reading comprehension. Reading comprehension is directly correlated to writing. They go hand in hand. And I'm sure after talking to a few of you, and pretty much every school that I have talked to, writing is an issue. Not only stamina, but quality writing. And of course, then they have to take that giant test at the end in 3rd grade and all the years after that. And you know now that it's text-dependent analysis. TDAs are all over the tests. And really, they're everywhere in life. You have to be able to prove what it is that you're doing. So, if you could find the writing project. Where is the writing project? Okay, yeah, let's look at that page first. So it's T62 and T63.
Ours is different.
Yeah, what is your page number? 60 and 61. She's good. Who was the one that said they read the whole book over the summer already? Was that you, wasn't it?
No, I didn't read the whole book.
Oh.
I went through it. I didn't.
So before we go on to the writing slides and we look at what the manual has to offer, I just want to say to you that after talking to a lot of you, you said that your writing is not at where you want it to be. So take this as an opportunity to now get it where you want it to be. The first thing is write often. They need to be writing with their grammar, with their spelling, with their story comprehension, and then writing on their own. All of those opportunities are in here. As you're looking through, you probably notice, oh, they have to write about the comprehension piece. They have the power writing. You have connected text. You have writing with the grammar. There's lots and lots of writing embedded in here. It's not always your formal writing process where you revise and edit and all of those things. Keep in mind that, especially in kindergarten and 1st grade, your job is to get them to love writing. You want to motivate them for writing. So you don't have to correct every single mistake. I know as teachers, we want to correct everything because that's what we do. But keep in mind those kids that are coming to 2nd and 3rd grade and they hate writing because we're telling them all the wrong things so much. So I'm going to say that again. You do not have to correct every mistake. You can think about something that that student might need to work on. You know, if this particular student needs to work on spacing between their words. So then that, you're going to say to them, hey, you're just going to work on spacing for the next week. We want to see how you're improving with that. Someone else might be working on something else. But you don't have to fix every single mistake. You want to get them to love to write and to actually write. An example of that would be the vocabulary. First of all, this program will really embed opportunities for them to use the vocabulary within their writing because of all the rigorous text that they're going to be exposed to and the questions that go with it. So that's easy, and it's in there for you. You're not going to have to make this stuff up. The second thing is, let's say you have a student that wants to say, the giraffe is big. Well, that student that's not a good speller is probably going to write the giraffe is big. But if you're someone that's going to correct every single mistake that they make, then they're never going to say the giraffe is huge or humongous, because they don't want to take a risk and spell that word wrong. So one of the things that we do in my district is called kid writing. It's an actual program, but we use it like, today we're going to kid write, no, so that they know they're not adults yet. They're going to make mistakes. We're okay with them kid writing. That means you can make some mistakes. We're going to fix some of your mistakes because you're a kid. So we're going to do kid writing. Don't stress about all the mistakes. And then when we conference with them, I might say, you know, read your story to me. And then that day I might just say, wow, that was so good. I love penguins too. Might be the end of it. On the other days, I may choose to revise a little bit. So you can do those kinds of strategies with all of this writing. We don't want you to mark up every single thing that they do. They're kids. They should get things wrong. You want them to take risks, and you want them to get more writing. And the only way they're going to do that is if they like it. So they have to like it first. We have kindergartners in my school. Writing is one of our really big things. This is no lie. We have kindergartners that write 7 or more sentences by the end of the year, all on one topic. Good sentences. It's amazing because we don't fix every single mistake. We're always like, wow, that was so awesome. Go tell me something else or add on to that topic. And we just take baby steps with them. So just keep that in mind. And know that as your kids get older, and you probably know this in your district, they have to write more and more. And I know it's kind of a district thing that you need to do so that carries over from one grade level to the next. My daughter was just going in 9th grade, so last year she was in 8th grade. She had at least 5 papers throughout the year that were 14 pages typed. 8th grade. No joke. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, this is ridiculous. But it was so much writing. And my daughter only complained, like, very minimally. Because, and then this summer she had a book to read, and she had to write a character analysis on, there's like 10 characters. It's actually like an Agatha Christie mystery, and everyone dies. So they have to write something about every single character. And the other day, right before I came here, she's like, can you read this to make sure I'm on the right track? I was blown away. She just wrote a paragraph. It was maybe 6 sentences, maybe 5 sentences even. Those sentences were amazing. Way better than I could ever write. They were so, the vocabulary was so high in those, I mean, you know, it was like, John was recently saddened by his misfortune with, you know, something. I'm like, I said, where did you get this from? Like, I couldn't write that well at all. I'm the worst writer in the world. And she's like, well, what do you mean? I just wrote it. I'm like, you just wrote this? You didn't go online to like, I mean, you know, I'm stealing sentences from people all the time. And she's like, no. I mean, her writing was amazing. And she never complained this whole summer, like writing. And she has to write 10 full paragraphs. And my other daughter is going into 11th grade, and she has a book to read, and believe it or not, they have to go online 12 times this summer and write like, what do I want to say? They have to blog 300 words about 5 times throughout the summer and then comment on other people's blogs. And like school hasn't even started yet. I'm like, are you kidding me? And she hasn't complained. Like, so when you build that writing stamina from kindergarten, and you're always doing it, it's just this natural thing for them, and you make it fun, and you celebrate that student that has that one stinking word on their paper, like, was so much better than yesterday. I'm putting out paper out. I'm putting it up. Don't worry about the mistakes. Don't worry about the parents coming through the hall and like, oh, there's a misspelled word on that. So what? Look at that word. They use the word amazing, and they're in kindergarten, and they got A, M, Z, and G. That's amazing. Like, that is what that word is. You know, so you know how that is. That, you know, so sure you want to work toward that. That's your goal. But if you don't get them to love it and build the stamina initially, you're fighting for nothing. Now, I am nitpicky about high frequency words, though. If they're up, they should be spelled right. So there's nothing wrong with saying, you know, you don't necessarily have to circle it in red, but you can say, this is the word where, it's in the W's, it's a high frequency word, you need to go fix that. You know, I don't have a problem with that. And they can write it underneath. They don't even necessarily have to erase it, because it's kind of cool to see what they had first, and then they can always go back and look at it.
So how much do you feel like then you actually do edit? Or I feel like capitals and periods are the biggest thing, like where are capitals, you know, but so like power writing, you just let them write, it doesn't matter if they have
Power
them or
writing,
not.
right.
And then like some of their literacy, like if you're doing a literacy center kind of, you just let them do their writing and not probably edit all that?
Yeah, I wouldn't go back and edit all that.
Is
I
it
really
mainly
wouldn't.
just the prod, like the big writing pieces that they have to do in the year?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Even though, of course, now that might be a mini lesson that you toss in, or I'm really celebrating, you put all your periods in. Oh, you're going up, I'm putting you up on the wall. You're, you know, make a writing hall of fame or something, and you're going up there, and of course, you're the one right beside her that didn't have your periods. I really hope you get your paper up tomorrow. I'd be so excited about that. Just those kind of little things
So
to
like
try to get
guided
them.
reading when we spend time writing about like our book?
I wouldn't dwell on it.
You wouldn't,
Now,
okay.
if it's a big fat mess, take baby steps. You know, I noticed that you always forget period. So that's all I want you to work on. Something like that. You kind of have to really individualize writing, because think about your students. I think writing is by far the biggest spread of levels. And that's what makes it so hard. Because you have kids in kindergarten that can write sentences, and you have kids that don't even know how to hold it. You know that you got that pencil, the one that the parents never gave them a pencil. They don't even know what the heck it is. So I think it makes it more difficult in writing than other subjects.
You know, I think in some of the research that we looked at too over the past year, writing is like one of the single most beneficial kind of things you can do. And it's something I think, and they talked a lot about, you know, older elementary, middle school, high school. You don't need to bring the bag of writing home and correct it every night. And they talked about how important that was not to do. And we're so type A that we feel like we have to do that because they handed it in.
Right.
And it's better if they have a conversation with another student or with you. That's much better than taking the red pen and just marking it up.
Right, and if you want to take them home, you can write, I love penguins too. So glad you had fun at the zoo. So they know you saw it, you know, and because think about it, writing is having an internal conversation. That's what you're doing. So if you write something back, then they're like, oh, she did take the time to look at that, you know. But don't think you can do every single kid every single day. You know, I wouldn't stress about that. And you can let the kids know, hey, I'm going to randomly pull some and, you know.
You know, it's hard to think that in third grade, you know, it's a core standard, which we sometimes think, well, God, that's just, how can we do that? But in third grade, they're supposed to be able to type at one sitting, type on a keyboard, one full page, you know, of a writing topic, one complete page. And we, you know, that's something that I think we can strive for, because they can't, kids around the United States can do that. And I think it's just one of those things, we have to build the endurance. And to build the endurance for kids, they don't want to write if we pound down their writing every single time they write a word.
And you have to do something every day, so.
It has to be every day, yeah. This was
Yeah.
another thing that they talked about. Schmoker was one of the biggest believers in that. The quantity of writing is really, really important.
Good. So there is a writing project. This is very hard to see up here. But there's power writing every single day. Then there is writing in response to reading every single day. I don't know if you have this in your book, but it's okay, because we're gonna flip it in a minute. And then there's a writing project. So every day you have two main writings, which is the power writing and then some kind of written response to reading. Then there's a project. The project is at the end of the unit. Some people start it before that. So many teachers that have used this program have said, I find it better if we do a little bit of it per week, and then it's not so much on week 4. It's totally up to you, and you'll have to try it. Or you'll have to look ahead and go, man, this one's a lot. I'm going to start that early. It's kind of up to you. I'm not going to dictate how you should do that, but then I've seen people get it done that week. Depends on your kids, and it depends on, have you been building up their writing stamina all this time? If you haven't, and you wait till week 4, you might struggle, and your kids might struggle. So it sort of just depends. So the writing project is at the end of the unit. So you can go ahead and flip to the end of the unit. I think everyone's pretty much there. So you guys are on T63, and you guys are on what, 60 and 61? 61, 62. So the project does go through all the steps of the writing process. So it is study a model, you do your pre-writing, you draft, revise, edit, publish. So the whole shebang, which tells you you don't do that with every single writing. I know a lot of people kill themselves trying to do all those steps, you know, they're doing their friendly letter and they're revising and editing and publishing. Then the next week they're doing, you know, whatever, opinion, and they're doing all this, and then they're doing a letter to Santa, and you don't have to go through all the steps on all that. You're just picking one, and you don't have to pick it because we picked it for you. Of course, know that if something ties in better that you come across, it's fine to substitute that out if you don't like that topic. But keep in mind, these topics really go along with what they're reading. But if it happens to be a holiday or something that you do, you know, your fair is really big, you know, if you find that some of the stories fit into that, then you can use the guide but change the topic if you need to. And that's fine, but I just can't say enough how important it is. And there are tons of writing rubrics online, and the graphic organizers are online. And you can see on that page, anytime it has that blue where it says ngreach.com, you can find those graphic organizers also online. I don't know if you guys have a graphic organizer on those. Maybe not on that one. Oh, yeah. And you can see in the bottom of the teacher's manual is just a sample of the rubric. Yep. Make sense? Now, it also has the language frames up there. So in your little flip chart of the language frames, it will have some sentence starters for them. And there's lots of different writings that they'll come across, and that's the other good thing. They'll have lots of exposure. Does that make sense? You guys are good? So I'm just going to review the different places that you find the writing. So every day there will be a response to the reading. And you'll conduct a think aloud for that before they begin to write. You have your power writing. And in your manual it'll say writing routine 1. So you can always find that if you need to. There's always writing in the literacy stations, and I really like the writing there. So if you don't, they're there for you, so you don't have to come up with something. So the literacy stations has the writing. And you can always have them work with a partner if you want to, whichever works. There's always writing with the grammar. Someone had mentioned about the guided reading. There's a writing in there. And then we talked about the unit wrap-up before. Okay. Leveled reading. Just want to make sure there's nothing that we didn't talk about. We talked about this placement test. If you want to use it, it's in your kit. But you do your DRA, so I don't think you need that. We talked about connecting across texts. The same graphic organizer as you do during reading. Here, and this is in your manual on that page in the back where your level reading is, these are all of the rubrics that I was telling you about that you could use for level reading. There's like 4 different ones. Just wanted to review this to make sure I cover everything. Right at the back, where it's level reading tab, that's like the only tab that they have. I don't know why.
I like how
Yes. The big yellow. Okay, any questions about writing? Everyone understands the writing project, level reading?
We do have that conversation.
You do? Okay, so we're going to move on to the online component. So here's what I need everyone to do. I know this is going to be so hard. It's the hardest thing all day. Close everything. Close your notebooks. Close your manual. Close your red book. Put everything in a nice, neat pile in front of you. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. I'm going to walk through.
You can put them on the carpet if you want. Just-
Can we turn the lights off?
So everyone could lay down and go to sleep.
I have lotion.
So I'm going to walk through the website for you. I'll tell you now,
How's that,
I
Lisa?
don't know every single thing. There are tech people that know the ins and outs of like printing reports on your kids and things like that. I know some of it. I'm not going to claim to be an expert on this part. But I know a lot about it. I just don't know every single thing. First of all, your access codes are available and will be given to you soon. Prior to that, right here are sample access. So write this down. If you have your phone, yes, just take a picture of it, which is smart.
Or right on the inside of your cover of your teacher manual, or? Because this, is this the one that gives them access to all the different curriculum?
It's temporary, yes. And I'll tell you why I'm giving this to you in just a moment.
Oh, we'll get a different one then? Yeah.
Yep. Just write this down and then I'll give you the spiel. I think that Q can be capital or lowercase. Oh, you know what? Oh, I'm using my flash drive. It's not my most current because they switched the laptop on me. On the student one, that 2 is a 3. Sorry. No. The little things that break us, huh? You just put it over the edge.
remember this. Is there
Yeah, this is an old flash drive that's not updated. It's my backup. Okay, everyone good?
So there's two needs to be three.
We'll be getting in this.
Okay. First of all, you will be getting your own individual one, okay? For now, it's going to be your last name, right?
I believe it's just their email.
Oh, okay, yeah. Your email, and then the password is password.
Right.
Very tricky. Temporary. As you know, it prompts you to change it.
This is temporary.
This is a sample one that
Then-
I'm given.
But you'll want this, is what, she'll explain that. So
Yes.
you want this, and then you want your teacher one too.
So what's the passwords?
You mean like Jody got through, Gary, or is it campus
So
log
it's-
on?
The username is your email,
Oh, okay.
and the password is, ready? Password.
And that will be our permanent one?
Yes, unless
Is that,
when you go on, sometimes these programs prompt you to change your password. And then, I don't care what you put. Password 1 is what I would do, yeah. Sometimes it doesn't let you if it's that close, I don't know. I mean, this isn't like super secure, you know, FBI stuff here going on.
Yes, so
Oh,
it
okay,
is exactly the way lowercase,
pass it all over?
Dan.Olberg@ISD423.org. All lowercase.
If they
Just-
don't have these yet?
Password is also all lowercase?
Oh, they're good today?
Yes. And password is all lowercase.
okay, now, I'm gonna tell you 2 reasons why I gave this to you. Number 1, this is mine. I know it works. You know technology, right? You get stuff, it doesn't work. So you have to email someone, and they email someone, and they email someone, then they get back to you, maybe it'll work. This works. So, that's first, it works. So, we're gonna stop at 3 o'clock, you're gonna grab a computer, and you're gonna go log on. Okay, so you can log on with this. The other reason I gave it to you is because right now, I say right now, I don't know how long it'll last, sometimes it lasts like 6 months, okay, because we have to change them every so often. You have access to all grade levels. And there's some other stuff in there, if you peek around, if you want to print some stuff that maybe you don't have access to, right, that you didn't buy, let's put it that way. So maybe for someone that you always have students that are lower and you want lower decodables than what you have, even though they are low, maybe you want lower, or maybe you want higher. You can go in and print other grade level stuff. Or if you want to go in and look at what is expected when they go to 2nd grade, or what are they doing in kindergarten, you have access to that right now. So that's the other reason I gave it to you, so you can play around. If you're like me, I love just, when I'm watching TV, multitasking, I got my Netflix on my phone, and I'm doing stuff for school, you know. So, you can just play around with it. So that's the other reason, okay? So, it does get a little confusing when, you know, you all probably, is it Mike? Is it Mike? You know, when your students are uploaded and everything's in there, there will be glitches, as there is all the time. So they will upload and they will assign the students in the classes for you. At least they should be. If that changes, that's not on me. But National Geographic will work with your tech people to upload your students for you. So do not do that right now. Don't try to put kids in, nothing like that, because you'll get all messed up. Now, if you use this, obviously you can't save anything. You're not gonna make lesson plans and save them and then log on as you in 2 weeks and go, well, where's my stuff? Because it's not you. You can save them in here, but then I'll probably end up deleting them because there's a ton of just crap I have saved. So if you can access your own account and you go to do, if you wanna look at lesson plans, if you wanna save lesson plans, you can do it under your name. But it's easy to save them, it's like 3 seconds to make a lesson plan. So, maybe 2. Okay, that part makes sense? Okay, so I'm gonna hopefully log on.
And this is a website then you'll want to bookmark,
Yes.
you know, in your bookmarks, or if you want to create an icon on your, can I do that?
Oh, I know, isn't that cute? I saw that picture, I was like, what?
So Dan,
Just get it on, you can just make a shortcut, straight the, in front of the address out to the desktop and it'll just make a shortcut.
Yes.
I'll check.
If she doesn't, email Jerry and he will give her access. Same with any other specialists, coaches, things like that. They need to have access to all grade levels. And they'll give that to you.
So what you would need to do is you should.
Yep.
but then our account isn't.
It's not up and running now.
Oh, yeah, that's it's like on the side, right?
Yeah, it's like what's showing up is actually.
There you go.
Nothing like computers.
The page is there, but it's not really there.
Get on the list.
Okay, so if you would put your eyes on the screen, I will show you all of the things that we're looking at. The way that you will be able to do it yourself is when you leave here and you go practice it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to lesson planner. Now, up here, I'm going to choose, I don't know, I'm going to choose first grade. And see how the first grade book shows up? And then if I go up here, choose second grade book shows up. Now, you will not have that option because you'll be assigned to one grade level. So we go to lesson planner. We create a week. Well, we go to create new first. Okay, lesson plan name. We're going to call this Hutchinson. We pick a week to start. I'll pick next week. I'm working on grade 2. Let's do unit 7. And I click continue. Yep, and their lesson plans for ready, set, yes. Everything is available. Now, choose pre-made or build your own. Why would you build your own? Who's doing that? Nobody. Because it's the same thing. You know what I mean? You would click on everything that you want to go in. So, but I mean, feel free.
Can you set the time on that one though?
We're working on that.
Cause I.
Okay, now, here are the times. 50, yeah, like, that's high. So, typically you have a 90 and a 120. Like I said earlier, you can pick 120, look at what you have, and pick and choose. You can go to the 90, and they'll recommend everything that you should have. Or in the beginning, you can print them both and see what the difference is. I really don't know. I never tried to do that before. So, what should I pick right now?
120.
Okay, so we'll do the 120. Lesson plan is being created. Okay, so then, it's very fast. So then all you do is, where, do I have lesson plans for the 14th? There they are.
How did you just get that, or did you?
I just went to the calendar. Yep. So you can go ahead and do them all. but you see it took like, what, 3 seconds? So you can plan ahead if you want. And see how it gives you the estimated time. Okay? So let's say if I click on this. Now, you can click on everything, but everything doesn't have something to go with it. It might just say the Common Core objectives and all of that. So I'm just going to click on this one. Okay, so you see,
So you
Okay.
can print that too,
you can print this.
in case you would have to stop.
Mm-hmm. See the PM, I'm pretty sure that's Practice Master. So, oh, that's the one we need. Right? So what I like is, again, what I would do, I've got it projected right now, and then I would use my smartboard tools
But I'm gonna learn how to.
that you're gonna learn how to use. And you can go right up there, write the answers, read there you go. So it's right there for you, which is why this is so easy.
Can you go back?
You could
One
print
tab.
from it, you can.
It opened a new tab.
Okay, there's a.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going back,
Okay, and back again.
so I'm closing it.
And so this is also where it says like T404, that also tells you what
That's your
page
teacher
you're
manual.
doing here.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
doubling up.
Yep, so this tells you the teacher manual, she's absolutely right. Mhm.
What did she ask?
Right here where I'm pointing to up here, see, yep, see where it says T408? That's the teacher's manual page.
Because she clicked on unit 7.
So someone had asked me, you asked about the letter cards, right? I think someone, I know on Wednesday they do a lot of word building, which is why I clicked on Wednesday's phonics. I was hoping that I clicked on the right one. So if I click on letter cards, they're there. And you know, you can, it's everything. So you can do that once, you know, put them on cardstock and everyone's good to
How
go.
many pages are there? 7?
Yep.
I was looking into
Order.
more magnetic letters.
Yeah, I think they would definitely be better.
Mhm.
Yes, they're more tactile.
So before you, let me work on that for a while before we
getting
get.
a cookie sheet for every student?
Right.
I'm okay with, if you're baking cookies, yeah.
Well, I mean,
You can get them at the dollar store.
When they're magnetic,
when they're, if you're getting magnetic ones.
then they stick to the board and they can
Right.
move around with them and they don't.
Are some of your
Fall.
whiteboards magnetic
Are those
too?
whiteboards the little National Geographic?
My other, the small ones I have.
No.
Yeah, I don't think they
Sometimes
are.
you can get the little whiteboards that are also magnetic too.
I have some with magnetic whiteboards.
Some of them are.
Either one.
So don't print these yet. It might be like Christmas when you come back to school. Yeah, give me 1 second. So here, of course, is another practice master. And this little thing, I'm assuming, right, I'm assuming it's a phonics song.
You go up one, that one, that's just the instrumental, yep.
Well, that's the same phonics song without the words.
Just play it, so that's both.
Sometimes you want the kids to sing.
Right, you want me to make sound work?
Okay, so
I'm trying to get this.
the visual isn't here, but you will see where it is.
Big one. Okay,
Everyone good?
Dan?
Nancy's next. We'll go all the way around. All the way around the table.
So if you only click on instrumental only, where are the words? Or by now the kids have memorized?
No, you have a chart, they have it in their book, there's a lot of different places. Yep. Okay.
Okay, let's say we don't have school,
Yeah. There weren't CDs in your, were there, no?
Can you vary it a day or anything like that?
That's a great question.
Oh, so like, could you condense them to 4 days instead of a 5-day?
See what you're saying.
Or like, you know, like sometimes.
Yeah, I know,
As
I
soon
know.
as I get access, I'll look into that
I
for you.
totally know what you're saying. Uh-huh. Let me think on that while we're working, okay?
Even if I just plunk them into like shared t-shirt, like,
Yeah, there's more at the bottom, yeah. Yeah, so it's all there.
For my wall.
Yeah, we're gonna do that, yeah, I'm not there yet. Yeah, lots more to do. Okay, so we're gonna move on. She has a question about the lesson plans. I have to think about the answer, so we'll move back to that. But those are the lesson plans, and you can print them from there. So, some other things that are pretty cool. If you go here into interactive whiteboard lessons, remember you have 2 per unit. Those are the ones that National Geographic provides the capability to manipulate things on. You use them for close reading. You can also print them so the kids have a copy. Now, the only thing I noticed was I always use Promethean because that's just what I happen to have on my computer. When I pulled up this, and I don't have my computer, we switched this out. When I pulled up the Smart on here, first of all, I don't know how to use a smartboard because I use Promethean. Secondly, everything didn't seem to work right, but I think it's because I don't know how to use Smartboard as well, I'm not sure. So I'm going to click on Smart, just to give you an idea. It comes down here. I'm assuming, yep, it's going to...
Probably not working because you're not on a smartboard though too, right?
then you have to drag it across.
Okay,
You're
so...
not on a smartboard, so
Okay, wait, I know I can drive this. How do I get to the top? Mm-hmm. How do I click up there if my mouse doesn't come up?
Right, it's like,
Thank you.
It's like playing video games, it's eye-hand coordination.
Okay, so, in your manual, it will guide you through the comprehension aspect of this. But they're all really cool. Now, with the Promethean, when I clicked here, the author's point would appear, it would highlight it automatically. For some reason on the Smart, it's not doing that. So I'm not really sure why. This would highlight automatically. So there might be something that needs clicked, you know, to make it do that. So if that was me and it's not working automatically, I would come up here and I would grab a highlighter and what is the author's point? Probably this, I'm thinking, is the author's point. Okay, so of course, you want to guide them through these at first, but eventually you want the kids to come up and interact with it. Now I need to grab this again, right? See, I'm learning. So you get the idea? No, this is the author's reason, but again, in your manual, it'll guide you through. I'm just kind of going off the cuff here. But the pictures are beautiful. And the content is very specific about whatever skill that you're working on. And then here, you're going to drag and fill in these areas. I don't know how to do it, I apologize. Yes. I know how to do it on a Promethean, like I said. Yeah, you'll,
We'll have to goof around with it.
well, that's right. But basically, I know it'll work. You're gonna click, and the whole sentence will come here. And then you click and drag, click, and you just do it for all three. I know, I tried that, that's not doing it.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, yes, you should be able to
It
just,
has to do
touch
with the, probably flash, that would be my guess.
right, something might need to be upgraded or something. So that's something, maybe a good question for the tech people ahead of time to troubleshoot that with our tech people. You got that written down? Thank you.
Thank you.
So then when you get in there, it'll work. And yes, you should be able to, kids will be able to walk up to the board, click on the sentence, drag it down. So these are really good. Any questions about that?
And those two, why don't I just download all the ones that work?
So then I'm gonna go back home, and that's for each unit. Remember, there are 2. Okay?
Because if there's just, I mean,
So
just 16
that's where you can go for
downloads, that's not
this.
a big deal to drag faster.
Make
And
sense?
were they in the lesson plan?
And they're in the lesson plan.
Especially ones.
Tells you exactly what to do. Yep.
But it tells us
Right.
when to use it.
Yes. Tells you when to use them, the questions that you would be asking, everything. So then we go home. Digital library, that is the part where there are vocabulary words. Now these are, again, remember we're in sample mode. So we're talking about Reach for Reading, we're not talking about this other stuff. When you're in your real mode, you'll have different choices. You'll have them for your students. And so if I'm in a certain whatever, places in the world, those are all my cards for that. So you could, as a station, say, go to the digital library, pull up these 3 cards, and do something with them. Whether it's talk to a partner, write a sentence, write a paragraph, you know, whatever you want them to do. And they just click on them, and there you go.
So are there words or just a picture?
Yeah, just a picture. Not on here. Since it's just, yeah. Did I close that? Ah.
Did you take that on Wednesday?
Wait, I wanna. Sorry. Where's my mouse again?
Took me a second, but I got it.
Go to the left,
Like here?
all the way, keep going. There you go.
So you go where you can't see it.
Yep, so it's like there's a second screen that's not actually there.
I get it now. See, I understand now that he said that. It comes back over.
Just a way to have a split screen.
Okay. Yeah, but now find that mouse again. Do I go back over?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the. So now, this is where I go when I'm online. So pay attention to this part because this is the, I think, the easiest way to find anything that you want to find. Resource directory. Okay, so write resource directory down. And if you notice, this website, there's only a few things to click on. So it's really not as confusing as some.
Can you go back and do that one more time?
Yes.
Like I was paying attention.
Yep, that's okay. This is the home page.
Okay.
It'll say resource directory. You click. This is where I like to click. Let's say we're on Unit 7. Everything you need is here. to me, this is the easiest place to get everything you need for that unit, because it's all here. So for example, I click building background videos. Oh, there's my building background video for Unit 7. Someone asked, where is it?
What happens when you push back to everything that too bad that computers aren't by ourselves.
See that? Words up.
But you should still be able to, you should still be able to click it, right? From your smartphone, by standing on it.
Yeah.
That's true. You don't need to see your computer.
I think the first time I showed this, remember it says to show this one time? I would show it at the beginning of every week. And by week 3 and 4, I'd take the words away, I'd pause it and say, can someone tell me what's happening? You know?
How do you take the words away?
Right there, captions on, captions off. So I can take them off.
You know, that's where
Yeah.
you were here.
We could probably live without the sound, right? We're good. We're good. Okay, so as you can see, how fabulous the videos are. And you don't have to hunt online for something. It's super easy. So then, someone asked about newsletters. So, if you click here, now here's what I have to say about newsletters. I know some teachers are just crazy about newsletters. I know some teachers that have 2 full pages typed. So, these newsletters are for the unit. They're not weekly newsletters.